Thank you so much. With the divine blessing of Almighty, we are about to kick off our Thank you so much. I request our chief guest, His Excellency Professor Ganeshi Lalji, Honorable Governor of Odisha, to please be seated on the dais. I request Shri Arun Mishra, Executive Director, Vedanta Resource Limited, CEO, Vedanta Zinc Business, CEO and whole-time Director, Hindustan Zinc Limited, to please be seated. I request Chief Operating Officer, JSW Steel Limited Mining Business, Shri Souvik Majumdar, to please be seated. Shri Alok Kumar Mehta, Director Mining and Strategic Projects, AMNS, to please be seated. Shri Pankaj Satija, Convener, Minerals and Metal Committee, ICC Odisha State Council, to please be seated. Chairman, ICC Odisha State Council, Shri J.B. Pani, Vice Chairman, Shri Mahendra Gupta, to please be seated, and Regional Director, ICC, J.P. Pal, to please be seated. Thank you so much. First of all, on behalf of the entire organizing committee, we would like to convey our heartfelt gratitude. Thank you so much for your time and presence. A big round of applause can we expect to begin this second edition of India Mining Conclave 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, mining has been a key contributor to the Global Economic Development Index. It's all about judiciously harnessing prospect beneath to fuel prosperity above the crust that sustain industrial economy globally. India is also a key contributor to this process as it produces nearly 95 minerals, including fuel, metallic, non-metallic, and minor minerals, which serves as raw materials to various industries. As an important economic segment, the mining sector facilitates economic growth. Odisha, too, is the leading state in terms of the estimated value of mineral production in the country, contributing nearly, we can say, a quarter of the national output. Today, on this significant occasion of second edition of India Mining Conclave, Bhubaneswar, it's my privilege to be amongst the most illustrious personalities on dais and some of the finest experts of national and global repute. I welcome you once again to this conclave that defines the very fabric of the way we conduct the serious business of mining. I hope the plenaries and the technical sessions today will go a long way in providing a definite, sustainable, and progressive momentum to the global mining scenario and will set parameters for global benchmark mining good practices. Once again, to open this second edition of India Mining Conclave 2023. On behalf of ICC, I would like to request Chairman ICC Odisha State Council, Shri J.B. Pani, to please come and offer the official welcome address. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome. It is with immense pleasure and pride that I stand before you today as the chairman of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, Odisha State Council, to extend a warm and hearty welcome to each one of you on this prestigious occasion. Honorable Governor of Odisha, Professor Ganeshi Lalji, I would definitely say our very amiable, happy, and erudite professor has made himself the people's governor and the most loved governor Mr. Shri D.K. Singh, IS, Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Steel and Mines, Government of Orissa, for his valuable contribution to the event. He was very actively involved in developing the agenda for this particular meeting. Unfortunately, he rang up and he said that today, being assembly, he had to go there. Both home and mines are being discussed. However, he has assured that any time in the day, whenever he is free, he will come and join this conclave. We thank him for that. Shri Alok Kumar Mehta, Director, Mining and Strategic Projects, AMNS. Welcome, sir. Shri Souvik Majumdar, Chief Operating Officer, JSW Steel Limited Mining Business. Welcome, sir. And our very own Shri Arun Mishra, Executive Director, Vedant Resource Limited, CEO, Vedant Zinc Business, CEO and whole-time Director, Hindustan Zinc Limited. Welcome, Ji. Our Vice Chairman, Mr. M.K. Gupta, will join us a little later. I would like to welcome all the dignitaries who have come, and especially we have very many discussions on the plenary session as well as the technical sessions, and all the speakers. I'm indeed grateful to them for having come across. And what is important, sir, is that today's agenda is not necessarily is a very encompassing. It's very important that we have decided to have the regulatory scenario challenges, discussion on that. We have erudite people for that. We have the environmental and social and corporate governance, ESG in mining sector. This is very important because it has both disruption as well as a wonderful, worthy contribution to the economy of the state and the country. We also have discussions on the transportation and logistics, because that is one of the major, I would say, where a lot of inputs and challenges are there, and we have to address it. As well as, of course, the innovation on technology and skill development in mining, workforce ready for future adoption of Industry 4.0 and AI. With this, I would like to welcome everyone out here and hope for a very fruitful and session, and we look forward to the findings of this particular conclave. For the theme address, may I request, I would like her to do it. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. After this official welcome address, I would like to request our organizing committee members to please present a warm token of appreciation in the form of fresh flowers bouquet to our dignitaries, along with our honorable chief guest we have over here on the dais. I request our convener, Minerals and Metal Committee, ICC Orissa State Council, Sri Pankaj Satija, Sri J.B. Pani, and of course, Sri J.P. Pal, to please coordinate and do the honor. Thank you so much. With a round of applause, can we expect some energy from our amazing set of audience we have over here, all the beautiful stakeholders of this industry? We are indebted to have your presence, sir. Thank you so much. Moving ahead, time has arrived for theme address, and who would be better than our convener, Minerals and Metal Committee, ICC Orissa State Council, Managing Director, Tata Steel Mining Limited, Sri Pankaj Satija, having almost 30 years of experience, progressively responsible experience in mining industry. Please put your hands together. Let's welcome Sri Pankaj Satija.
Good morning. His Excellency Professor Ganeshi Lalji, the chief guest of this function, Mr. Arun Mishra, Mr. Alok Kumar Mehta, Mr. Souvik Majumdar, and all the dignitaries of the days. Mining is not new. It has been happening for more than 6,000 years. But every time people say that we need to work on sustainable development. So what's the thing which has changed? So probably if you look at the Rig Veda, there is a story of warrior queen Vishpala. And Vishpala was married to a king called Khela. There was attack of enemy country from other side, and she participated in the war. She was so ferocious, was compared with Devi Chamunda, and the enemy soldiers, they chop off the leg. She worshipped, invoked Ashwini Kumar, the godhead, horse-head god, and metal leg was given to her. Next day, she was again on the field. And Rigved Shlok, it mentioned, Charitram hi veva chedi parnamaja khelas paritakyam sadyah jangam ayasim vishpalaye dhane hite sartve pati adhattam. So if you look at this story, the woman was not asked to come to the war field. So there was a gender equality. And this is the first documented reference of prosthesis. She was given a metal leg, so metal was there at that point of time. Legs were chopped off, but again she came to the war field. So she was a person with a disability, but there was no discrimination. In today's time, when we'll compare with 17 SDGs, it takes care of SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 4, quality education. So what we talk about is student-centric education, teacher-centric education, or content-based education, everything was taken care of that time. Yajurved 36:18 also mentioned, Mitrasyam Chakshusa Sarvani Bhutani Samikshe, Mitrasya Chakshusa Samikshamahe. And that means that we should look everyone with compassion, and every being should look at me with compassion. That takes care of SDG 8, decent work, SDG 10, reducing inequalities, SDG 13, climate action, SDG 17, partnership for the goals, SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institution. And also, when you're taking care of every being, it also takes care of SDG 1, no poverty, and SDG 2, zero hunger. Somehow we missed it, and Government of India made change in the Constitution. Article 51 AG was introduced, which defines the duty of every citizen to protect and improve natural forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and have compassion for living creation. So what was there in Yajurved 36:18, translated in Constitution in Article 51 AG. Upanishad again, and Yajurved chapter 40, it takes Yen takten bhunjita magridha kasyadhanam. Magridha means don't hoard, and it highlights the SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. And kasyadhanam, whose money it is, whose wealth it is. So it means intergenerational equity, which was highlighted in the Brundtland Commission in 1987, which was drafted by the then PM of Norway, Brundtland. So you can very well relate that these were the directions were very well written in our scriptures. And UNESCO also say that Veda transcends beyond the boundary of Hindu literature. It is for everyone. It's the oldest written document of it. But what we have done, we have not followed in between, and now we are going through the different COP and different other Western literature to follow this. So this is our theme primarily, but if you have to achieve your goals of ESG, you need a policy framework which should strengthen or which should facilitate, and also the competence for the people to follow those guidelines and ensure it with utmost excellence, professional excellence. So that's why the theme primarily ESG. Then we have a session on policy making also. We have session on logistics. We have session on skilling and AI. And I'm sure that with the deliberations of the panelists and question and answer from the audience will make this further enriching And to make further inclusive, we must remember that आसमां जो इतनी बुलंदी से इतराता है, भूल जाता है कि जमी से ही नजर आता है. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this relatable story from our mythology and this amazing quotes as well. Please put your hands together for this wonderful beginning. Let's move ahead. And this is the time that we would be inviting Director Mining and Strategic Projects, AMNS, would like to let you know that he is a former Board of Director member of NMDC Limited as Director Commercial and was also Director of 7 subsidiaries and joint ventures companies. Result-oriented professional with nearly 40 years of experience in leadership, mines planning, operation and maintenance, project management, operation and maintenance of ore beneficiation, iron ore, slurry, pipeline, pellet plant, steel plants, and chemical industries. Adept of working with diverse cultures, both within and outside the country, specializing in ore beneficiation, iron ore, slurry pipeline, pellet plants, and steel plants. Deep knowledge and experience in project execution, feasibility studies, performance testing, and value-added services. Everyone, please put your hands together. Let's invite Sri Alok Kumar Mehta, Director, Mining and Strategic Project, AMNS, for the special address.
Honorable Governor of Odisha, His Excellency, Professor Ganeshi Lalji, Shri J.P. Pani, Chairman ICC, Odisha State Council, Shri Pankaj Satija, Convener Mineral and Metals Committee, ICC, Odisha State Council, Shri Shoik Majumdar, Chief Operating Officer, JSW Steel Limited, Shri Arun Mishra, Executive Director, Vedanta Resources Limited, other senior bureaucrats, industry stalwarts, members of media, my dear colleagues and friends. Good morning to all of you. First of all, my compliments to Indian Chamber of Commerce, Odisha State Council for envisioning this event and organizing the day-long session on such important topic. And also, my many thanks for inviting me in this all-important conclave. As you all know, Luxembourg-based ArcelorMittal and Japan-based Nippon Steel have come together in India as AMNS India with the goal to help create a smarter, more sustainable steel for India and the world. To do this, the company places safety, health, innovation, and technology at the heart of its manufacturing operations and product development. We at AMNS India Limited have been associated with the government of Odisha since 2015, when we acquired the first greenfield iron ore mines in India at Sagasahi of Sundargarh district through auction. Odisha is an important state to the company, and it remains core to the company future growth plan. The Odisha operations have significantly contributed to the company's performance and have been an integral part of the long-term strategy, which is in tandem with the country's ambitious goal to achieve 300 MTPA steel production by 2030. In Odisha, AMNS India currently operates a 12 MTPA pellet plant, the largest single location pellet plant in the country, and a 13 to 2 megawatt power plant at Paradeep, iron ore mines in Sagashahi and Thakurani, and the 8 MTPA ammunition plant at Dabuna in Quencher, with a 253-kilometer dedicated slurry pipeline from Dabuna to Paradeep. These are our existing operations.
Now, the company plans to establish a 12 MTP integrated steel plant in Kendrapada, Odisha, with an investment of around rupees 50,000 crore and proposed capacity expansion to 24 MTPA. AMNS India has also signed an MOU with the government of Odisha for setting up a 7 MTP integrated steel plant at Paradeep with an estimated investment of 38,000 crore. Apart from that, 38 million ton slurry pipeline from Sagashahi up to the Paradeep, associated beneficiation plants. These are all the investments which we are doing in the first phase at Odisha. So in the first phase, our total investments are exceeding more than 1 lakh crore in Odisha. These projects, once complete, will be yet another step by AMNS India towards supporting Odisha to achieve its target of $1 trillion economy. I would repeat that these projects, once complete, will be yet another step by AMNS India towards supporting Odisha to achieve its target of 1 trillion economy. In Odisha, AMNS India's priority remains to run the operations at optimum capacity while maintaining the highest environmental and governance standards. Much like its parent companies, ArcelorMittal and Nippon Steel, AMNS India will uphold the highest standards in sustainability with minimum carbon footprints and aims to set up the industry benchmark. It also remains committed to the communities it supports through various on-ground CSR initiatives. The company believes that a strong community connect can help build a robust ecosystem of development. In Odisha, AMNS India is steadily increasing its initiatives in quality education, skill development, healthcare, employment support, women empowerment, social infrastructure development, and sports. AMNS India stands committed to continuous partnership with the Odisha government for path-breaking initiatives for the betterment of people of this state. The company is a committed partner to Odisha and to the nation in its purposeful, inclusive, and sustainable growth story. Several industrial-specific policies and frameworks have been brought in by the government of Odisha and the Mines Department for development of the mineral-based industries in this state. At a time when India shifted to the auction route to grant mining concessions, Odisha showed the path to efficiently conduct mineral block auction in a most transparent manner. About our experience of operating in the mining industry in Odisha, well, we feel it has been a perfect blend and complementing good governance between center and the state with several industry-specific path-breaking policy interventions and framework and its implementation. The government of Odisha has always been proactive in implementing good governance in mineral administration like the I3MS system and land bank for forest clearance. Recent amendments and guidelines regarding statutory clearance procedures are being implemented in this state faster than any other state, which is commendable. For realizing the Vision 2030 of 300 million ton steel production, augmentation of railway network near mining area is important for reducing load on road network for mineral evacuation. In the same manner, resolution of the issue on royalty and royalty, speedy forest clearance, speedy environment clearance, and rationalization of eco-sensitive zone will help iron ore mining and steel industry to grow still faster. I would like to draw the attention of the state government and central government through this forum on these pressing issues of the industry. Lastly, I appreciate the large congregation of industry captains present here. There are several technical sessions to follow today, and I request ICC to come up with a declaration of the sort on the suggestions and findings of this conclave, which can be presented at appropriate forums in future. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's invite our other dignitary present over the dais, Sri Souvik Majumdar, COO, JSW Steel Limited Mining Business, which is a US $23 billion and is ranked among India's leading business houses. JSW's innovative and sustainable presence in various sectors, including steel, energy, infrastructure, cement, paints, venture capital, and sports, is helping the group play an important role in driving India's economic growth. He is an innovative change agent and seasoned executive with 29+ years of proven experience. Presently, spearheading the mining vertical of JSW Steel Limited, comprising of iron ore, coal, and acquisition. Sir, we are thrilled to have your presence. Let's give it up for Sri Alok Kumar Sri Souvik Majumdar, COO, JSW Steel Limited Mining Business. Everyone, please, a round of applause.
His Excellency, Honorable Governor of State of Odisha, Professor Ganesh Lal ji, the dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, my dear friends, a very warm and good morning to all of you. It is indeed a very heartening to see that the Indian Chamber of Commerce Odisha edition is conducting this mining conclave at a juncture when India, our very own Bharat, very own state of Odisha, is poised for an enormous growth. And the growth cannot happen without the mining, I would say the proper mining and allied infrastructure growth. As you all know, the mining GDP contribution to Indian economy is around less than 2%. And the Honorable Prime Minister has got a vision that this percentage has to go to around 4%. And just imagine, we are at a 3 trillion economy, and our vision is to touch 5 trillion economy in a span of next 3 to 4 years. And what has to be the contribution at 4% of GDP growth for mining and allied infrastructure to Indian economy? So this is basically lying with all of our shoulder. We also should be conscious about the fact that the growth cannot come without adhering to certain rules of the game. We have seen the enormous growth earlier in the mining sector, post the China boom, but then that has gone not totally right with the entire ecosystem. So therefore, the growth has to happen with a lot of responsibility. And what are those responsibilities? This paradigm shift in growth in the mining and the allied infrastructure brings a lot of responsibility on our shoulder. The responsibility starts with the sustainability. So therefore, we will have to have our sustainability practices in mind. And I know that the government of India is also coming up with a lot of the rules and regulations, but more than the rules and regulation, it is the sustainability which is in our blood, which is in our culture, which has to be practiced and adhered to. The gender equality, the mining industry overall in a whole, it is I would say, I mean, I'm a person from the mining industry, but I have got no I've got no hesitation in say that this industry is a bit gender biased. We'll have to come over it. So we'll have to have a gender equality, whether it is in terms of the women folk, whether it is terms of the transgender, this gender equality has to come in the mining sector. The technology and innovation. Now, if you compare the first world mining countries with the mining system over here, we are bestowed with enormous amount of natural resources. But the technology and innovation which has happened in other sector, if we see in terms of the steel, in terms of the any other aerospace or any other sector, the technology and innovation in mining sector is still a sort of minuscule level in India. So that has really not developed. So when you are talking about around 4% GDP contribution in 5 trillion economy, the technology and innovation is one of the most important part of our curriculum. Last but not the least, what about the exploration? Let us remember that not more than 16 to 17% of country's obvious geological potential area is basically explored. So India, if we look at the tectonic shift, the theory, India is also synonymous with Australian geology. But the Australia has got almost near about, say, 67% of the exploration which is done on their obvious geological potential area, but India is only around mere 17%. So therefore, the exploration has to come in a big way as far as the Indian mining ecosystem is concerned. As a student of mining engineering, when I joined this industry way back in 1994-95, that time I used to hear that a life of a particular mine, whether it is iron ore or coal, people used to say that it is only 20 years, right? And today, for this very same mine, still we are hearing the life is more than 20 years. So that is the power of the exploration. Mother Earth has given us a lot, but it is we who need to find it. Now, if we talk about the sector-wise, India today, it is having a steel capacity of around 150, 160 odd million ton. We produce around 127, 130. We'll have to produce around 300 million ton. So 300 million ton steel, it means around 500 million tons of iron ore. It means around 230 odd million tons of metallurgical coal. We are bestowed with enormous iron ore reserve. Today, we produce around 250 million tons of iron ore. We'll have to double the capacity. We don't produce any metallurgical coal per se, but then don't we have the reserve? We have the reserve and resources. In the eastern part, that is in the Bengal, the Raniganj Jharia coal field, as well as the Jharkhand, we have enormous amount of coking coal reserves. But then, for the want of washeries, for the want of tackling the fire, coal mines fire, again, the technology and innovation, we are unable to mine it. We are unable to wash it. We are unable to use it in our steel mills. And that is the reason today India is importing 100% of its coking coal. So it is we who has to ask a question to ourselves that are we doing enough in that regard? Can we not replace by producing some of the best quality coking coal over here so that we do not become a overall import state? Now, of course, the Odisha has played an enormous role in the paradigm shift in the mining industry. What has happened post 2015 under the liberal leadership of our very own Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Naveen Patnaik ji, Odisha has done tremendous job in terms of the mining ecosystem. Odisha is the first state who has embraced this entire auction system and auctioned many mines and also facilitated so that the mines are coming production in a much faster route. But we need to do a little bit more here. If we look at the overall Indian ecosystem, the number of mines which has come into production post-auction regime of 2015 has actually gone down, even though the production has gone up. Now, what does it mean? The moment number of mines are going down and the productions are going up, right? That means there is a sort of loss in the job creation. We'll have to think about the job creation. The mining and the allied industries job creation is almost 1:10 ratio. So we'll have to think about the job creation. Therefore, we'll have to bring more and more mines into the ecosystem. We'll have to bring we'll have to do enough exploration and bring more and more mines, not only in the basic minerals like iron ore and coal and limestone and bauxite, but also the battery minerals. Today, very recently, the government of India has opened the rare earth minerals and the battery minerals open for the exploration and the mining. And I think it's a very, very welcome step. So today, India, from the 100% import dependence, we want to become self-sustenance in terms of the critical and the rare earth minerals. And we, the mining fraternity, has to come forward for that. Now, lastly, whilst enormous amount of growth, the paradigm shift, all is happening in the mining sector, but we'll have to also be mindful about certain other things which goes with the sustainability. We'll have to think about the paradigm shift in our logistics infrastructure. Today, take the case of Odisha itself, where near about hardly around 38 to 39% of the material is basically getting shifted through rail. Remaining is being shifted through road network. Now that is creating a huge amount of pressure onto the road infrastructure. And that's why the last mile connectivity in terms of the rail to the mines and the technologies like slurry pipeline is becoming very, very important. We have got the example in say, for example, in Bellary, near about say 28 million tons in the Bellary sector, 28 million tons of the truck transportation through road was quickly replaced by a pipe conveyor mode, wherein my own company itself has invested in that pipe conveyor, and we have allowed the other people also to use it, so that the transport, whatever the transport they used to do through the road is basically got eradicated, and almost 28 million tons of road transport got replaced with a pipe conveyor, which is giving a huge amount of boost to the environment. So this is certain things which perhaps not as a company by company, but as a fraternity, we'll have to come together, and as a fraternity, we'll have to invest, and as a fraternity, we'll have to help the state and the nation to have a more sustainable, more environment-friendly, more technology-driven mining industry. With this, I once again congratulate ICC for organizing this meet, and I wish them the very success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have stalwarts of mining industry with us on dais. I would present now Shri Arun Mishra, Executive Director, Vedanta Resources Limited, CEO, Vedanta Zinc Business, and CEO and whole-time Director, Hindustan Zinc Limited. Shri Arun Mishra is a distinguished leader in the mining industry with a wealth of experience and expertise that has significantly contributed to the growth and development of Vedanta Resources Limited. His remarkable career journey and unwavering dedication to the mining sector make him a prominent figure in the industry. I would also like to mention earlier to Vedanta, he has 33 years of rich and diverse experience in Tata Steel. And also would like to mention that he has published several papers in the Journal of National Repute. Mr. Mishra completed his bachelor's in engineering in electrical engineering from IIT Kharagpur with a diploma in mining and beneficiation from New South Wales, Sydney, and another diploma in general management from CEDEP, France. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today to explore the future of mining in India, please join me and extend hearty welcome to Shri Arun Mishra.
Good morning to you all. His Excellency Professor Ganesh Lal ji, delegates on the dais, delegates in front, representatives from print and electronic media. This room makes me very nostalgic. Dulal would know. I have been in this room so many times. Especially I remember I was as a vice chairman and then for some time chairman of CI Odisha. I also have the unique distinction of going to another state and again taking up the job of vice chairman there. So currently in Rajasthan also, I'm again in the same CII as a vice chair, but hoping to get into the bigger slot there. And I also have the unique distinction of being the first Indian to be chairman of International Zinc Association, which nobody from India could become before that. Why do I say about this? All this is because of Orissa. All this is because of my experience of working in Orissa and all of you who have been part of my journey in my life in this place. I know about mining. I am not going to talk about the importance of mining or its contribution. I feel that any country, the policymakers, when they set policies, there is a process of a decadal review. You need to look back after a decade of operation of any policy. What has happened? Have the policies, have the rules achieved what they were designed to achieve? If you look at mining and the various changes on MMDR that we have been doing since 2015, and today we are after 8 years, I principally feel when the government of India is setting targets, this is not a government which sets targets from one election to another election. This is a government which sets target for the country to be developed by certain timeline, irrespective of election or no election. There are targets we will be achieving by 2022 with a house for everyone. We said we'll be achieving something by 2030, we'll be achieving something by 2070. If that be the vision, we need to have a decadal review. What has happened? What did we achieve? We have introduced so many laws, and like what happens in mineral, the more you explore, the more you excavate, the mineral becomes more and more complicated. So the more and more simplification of rules only makes more and more provisions, which makes the explanations even more and more difficult. I believe that the whole purpose of modifying the mining was one, give equal rights of eligible citizens to have access to creating wealth. That was a big purpose in which we went into the auction rule. Second, we said traditionally all over the world, wherever mining has taken place, the people who live around the mines have not benefited. Hence, certain changes were made, whether it was CSR Act, whether it was DMFT, the royalty provisions, all that came in. Third, we said that whatever we mine, we must understand this is a national resource, and there has to be a scientific, technological way of mining and conservation of minerals. Have these three purposes been met? That after years and years of CSR and DMF, do our villages around the mines look they're fully developed? Or are they still in the same situation what they were even 10 years back? I think that's where the policy review needs to look at and see what could be the alternative mechanism by which the wealth that we create, as miners we create and we keep aside for development of people, are they reaching the people where it was meant for? Second, if we say that the whole purpose of creating the rules were ensuring that the mining adopts world's best technology, there is a scale of mining, there is a scientific way of producing, you look around the mines, you find smaller and smaller blocks. People don't even have space to keep the dump. People don't even have space to create a tailing dam. And everybody is struggling to somehow produce and make profit only in the years it is possible. Instead of looking at the long term, if I get 30 years of lease, what is the most scientific way of mining? Is that purpose being achieved? I'm not saying it is not being achieved. Neither am I saying it is being achieved. It is for a very, very informed database review to be taken on a decade basis and say, okay, after the review, these are the future corrections to be needed. If our purpose was to make every eligible Indian citizen have equal access to wealth creation, is that purpose being achieved by the way we have been distributing mines, or there could be alternative mechanisms to it? That is something also we need to look at the process. Many times we believe that let's make the process right, the result will also be right. But very often I have seen in my own corporate life, when we focus too much on the process, we forget that at the end of the day, whether the results are the same as it was intended for. Maybe we may have the fantastic process, most politically correct, most audit-wise correct, but then it is not producing the result, and we are only hoping that it should produce one day. If we really want to transform this industry, the focus on trust has to come. People need to trust that without mining, civilization can't proceed. Miners are not the ones who are for a short-term profit. Miners are there to develop these countries. That trust has to come. Second, there has to be huge focus on technology. We can't be mining the way we had been mining earlier, especially in the age of generative AI. Tomorrow, 29th, I'm holding a Gen AI conference in Delhi involving Google to come and tell us what are the new things that we can do in mining. because we can't be operating the way we had been operating earlier, which is manpower intensive, but makes the life of people unsafe, makes the entire place look dirty, and always there is a complaint of dust, complaints of emissions and all that. Third is the talent. We have to stop looking at men as the only talent pool. We have to look at women in mining as the next generation of talent pool. And that's for that the necessary rules need to be changed. It's very funny to me that we still have a rule of in underground mine engaging women only from morning 7 to evening 7. Perhaps people thought that in underground also there is a daytime and there is a night time. In underground, it's a night time all the time. How does it matter that morning 7 to evening 7 and evening 7 to morning 7? But the rules are rules, something we need to look at, that yes, if the women can go to underground mining in the morning 7 to evening 7 to morning 7 are the same. And we need to make more and more women who are now going to engineering college, they have taken up mining engineering to come into mining, and we benefit us. At least 50% of the entire mining force must be women who should be working with us shoulder to shoulder to give us the benefit. Last but not the least, we cannot and we should not forget the importance of forest and biodiversity around us. This country cannot survive without them, and we must ensure that as a mining, while we explore technology into mining, we must explore technology into forest conservation. As we look at mineral conservation, we must explore technology into biodiversity conservation as we look into mineral conservation. I think if we keep these things in mind and conduct this seminar for the day, we will do a good job for one day at least. Thank you so much for a patient listening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for shedding light about gender equality and acceptance of women, starting from ground level to senior management level in mines industry. But I can see many known faces who are ruling the mining industry who are present here. Please give a round of applause for the amazing women we do have in the industry and serving in various forte. Thank you so much. Right now, I would like to request our convener, Minerals and Metal Committee, ICC Odisha State Council, Sri Pankaj Satija, Chairman, ICC Odisha State Council, Sri J.V. Pani, and Vice Chairperson, Sri Mahendra Gupta, to please jointly present a token of appreciation, a memento. We will start from our chief guest of second edition of India Mining Conclave 2023. We do have His Excellency Professor Ganesh Lal, Sir, Honorable Governor of Odisha. Please team coordinate. And after this, we can say canon moment, we would be listening to one of the most amazing orator we do have here, our chief guest, Honorable Governor of Odisha. And also would like to request Sri Pankaj Satija, Sri J.V. Pani, and Sri Mahendra Gupta to present a token of appreciation and memento. Sri Arun Mishra, Executive Director, Vedanta Resources Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, can we expect some round of applause, please? We also request three of you to present a memento to Chief Operating Officer, JSW Steel Limited Mining Business, Sri Souvik Majumdar. We request three of you to please present a memento to Director Mining and Strategic Projects, AMNS, Sri Alok Kumar Mehta. Thank you so much. Thank you. I request our dignitaries to please be seated. It's our honor and we are privileged to have the People's Governor as rightly addressed by our dignitaries on the dais. We have His Excellency Professor Ganesh Lal ji. Sir, we are delighted to have your presence.
Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami Bhautumi. Honorable Shri J.V. Pani ji, Honorable Shri Pankaj Satija ji, Honorable Shri Alok Kumar Mehta ji, Honorable Shri Majumdar ji, Honorable Shri Arun Mishra ji, Honorable Shri Mahendra Kumar Gupta ji, and you all the dispenser of the sustainable life on this earth. Yama spoken is the guard of death, but you are the Lord of life, you say. So accept my salutations, you see, on this auspicious day, and my immense pleasure it is, you see. As far as the theme of this conclave is concerned, and you will go into certain deliberations in the 3 sessions to be ensued, you see. Well, I think the total theme of the project is that the people should walk celestial on this earth, you see. Well, that is what Savitri speaks to Yama. I have been to all the lands, you see, all the planets, you see, seen all the beauties, glories of all the planets over here. But this planet was also like that, you see. So I wish, and you must be aspiring and endeavoring in that direction, that people should walk celestial on this earth, just like God, you see. It may be the mining of the judiciary. It may be the mining of the executive, or the parliament, or the planet itself, or the material energies of the Lord, you see, ether, earth, air, water, fire, mind, intelligence, ego, which is being exploited by all of us, you see. The mining can be of anything, you say, but the theme of the mining should be that it should result in a city of mankind, a common heritage of mankind, a larger cosmos. That perhaps should be the theme of the industry or mining. It should be. My interiority should not be, will not be, must not be slaved to anybody else in the world, you see. Well, that happened, you see, just in the G20 session in our country also, you see. What a surprise. Billions of people were witnessing this grand spectacle. G20 become G21. India, Middle East, Europe, economic corridor, digital fruits of the robust economy should go to each and everyone and everywhere. That was perhaps the project, and something was heading towards like that one earth, one family, one future, one sun, one world, one guild, human-centric globalization, conscience-centric planet. We have been from since time immemorial singing like these songs, you see. What about technology, innovations, inventions, and creations? It is all false. You are just discovering the things. They were already existing. And therefore, it is there, you see, that the theme of the project is wealth of the whole world, and even the technology and all these, whatever you call innovations, etc., won't be able to produce even a single flower. And if you pluck a flower, then some star in the cosmos will be shaken off, you see. How can you stop a skylark to sing a song in the skies, you see? You cannot, you see. I am the intelligence of all the intelligent, you see. Of all the wise, I am the wisdom, you see. I am the knowledge, I am the goal of the knowledge, I am the object of the knowledge. That is Lord Prabhu Jagannatha speaks to Arjuna, you see. So what Majumdar was speaking, you see, we are lacking 100% import, etc., so on and so forth. I think that must be compelled to obey Lord Jagannatha, and I think everything will be all right as far as my observation goes. If there is a possibility of going to the suns and the moons, residing, dwelling in yourself, you see, then how is it possible that one can be deprived of the benefits, that glory with which I have been sent upon this earth, you see? So as far as the theme of the project is concerned, my learned professors and speakers were speaking like that. You see, the nature is the visible garment of God, and hidden nature is secret God, you see, secret divine Lord Prabhu Jagannath. So while doing all these things, you see, I will never forget, and I will always be having in my mind, you see, eating, sleeping, walking, talking, dreaming, sleeping, doing anything, you see, I will have in my mind that I don't exist. I exist only for his, my fidelity is for him, you see. That is perhaps, I think, maybe one of the themes, you see, will you discuss in the coming deliberations. But how it can be done, you see, Einstein says that all that counts is not to be counted. And all that is not counted, that counts, you see. I like what I have. I shall have what I like. Well, there is a conflict over here, you see. All the diplomacies, strategies, the policies, the dominance, authority, hierarchies, conventions, convictions, conclusions, barriers, borders, boundaries, banners, and bondages, sacrifice, charity, austerities, goodness, passion, ignorance, all were there, you see. There was a churning of all these things in G20, you see. And what came out was the nectar was nothing else but sincerity, truth. So many things can be said like this, but I will wind up in one simple word. The nectar was spiritual democracy. It is spiritual democracy. In the words of our Prime Minister, we are the mother of democracy. That is the spiritual democracy. My benefits, whatever I derive, should go to each and everybody, you see, and everywhere, you see. Gita also speaks, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam, Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami, Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani, Sa Nisha Pashyato Mune. You must have understood the meaning of all, because you are all the disciples, the servitors, the dear friends of the Lord Jagannatha. You see, you must be understanding all this. You must have gone to the film also, you see, by Robert Oppenheimer, you see. The film, the physicist, he speaks only one shloka, you see, one verse, when he detonated the first atom bomb in 1945 in Mexico. Kalo vasmi lok chakrit prabadho. I am the time. I am the eternal time spirit, and I am the destroyer of all the world. That he speaks, you see. Well, somehow or other it was criticized, because after this celebration, he goes along with spouse to celebrate in a way he likes, you see. Therefore, it was criticized like anything, but nothing to be criticized. This is the only one couplet in the whole of Gita, you see, where Lord Jagannatha speaks to Arjuna. Time and space. These two things were together, you see. And there was complete equilibrium. Somehow or other, Adam ate the forbidden fruit, you see. Because of some satanic verses, you can say. Time came out, space started flowing up. And that was the beginning of the universe, you see. And the God, thus divine, has given us all the pleasures, you see, to enjoy the way you like, you see. But now this is the time, you see. What should be the theme and what should be the practice? Let, if possible, can we think of that let there be space and time be again together, so that we should walk on this earth just like gods. We shall not have to go to the moon, you see. We shall bring moon to this world, not only uplifting the world to God in deathless light, but we'll bringing the God down to the world. On earth I came, and let the heavens and the earth be alike. Gagan और धरा का मिलन करना शायद माइनिंग का काम है. वंदे उत्कल जननी भारत माता की जय.
Over the next few hours, we have a packed agenda filled with insightful sessions, expert panels, and networking opportunities to enrich your knowledge and foster collaboration. I would like to request all of you to please give your valuable time because a few of the companies have put up their stalls inside the hall. If we can have a look on the same, it would be really great. And thank you once again for coming from long